Good morning. Welcome to episode 3 of Books and Bonnets, where I just sit and read to you in my bonnet. I am still reading from The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I have jumped forward onto page 73. This is kind of a longer passage, so it's going to be a few minutes, but there's some really good stuff in here, and I hope that you can take something away from this reading. Throughout this book, there's a lot of question and answer. It's formatted in a question and answer context. So we're starting with a question today. And the question is, what do you mean by different levels of unconsciousness? As you probably know, in sleep, you constantly move between the phases of dreamless sleep and the dream state. Similarly, in wakefulness, most people only shift between ordinary unconsciousness and deep unconsciousness. What I call ordinary unconsciousness means being identified with your thought processes and emotions, your reactions, desires, and aversions. It is most people's normal state. In that state, you are run by the egoic mind, and you are unaware of being. It is a state not of acute pain or unhappiness, but of an almost continuous low level of unease, discontent, boredom, or nervousness, a kind of background static. You may not realize this because it is so much part of your normal living, just as much as you're not aware of a continuous low background noise, such as the hum of an air conditioner, until it stops. When it suddenly does stop, you feel a sense of relief. Many people use alcohol, drugs, sex, food, work, television, or even shopping as anesthetics in an unconscious attempt to remove the basic unease. When this happens, an activity that might be very enjoyable if used in moderation becomes imbued with a compulsive or addictive quality, and all that is ever achieved through it is extremely short-lived symptom relief. The unease of ordinary unconsciousness turns into the pain of deep unconsciousness, a state of more acute and more obvious suffering or unhappiness. When things go wrong, when the ego is threatened, or there is a major challenge, threat, or loss, real or imagined, in your life situation or conflict in a relationship. It is an intensified version of ordinary unconsciousness, different from it not in kind, but in degree. In ordinary unconsciousness, habitual resistance to or denial of what is creates the unease and discontent that most people accept as normal living. When this resistance becomes intensified through some challenge or threat to the ego, it brings up intense negativity such as anger, acute fear, aggression, depression, and so on. Deep unconsciousness often means that the pain body has been triggered and that you have become identified with it. Physical violence would be impossible without deep unconsciousness. It can also occur easily and whenever or wherever a crowd of people or even an entire nation generates a negative collective energy field. The best indicator of your level of consciousness is how you deal with life's challenges when they come. Through those challenges, an already unconscious person tends to become more deeply unconscious, and a conscious person more intensely conscious. You can use a challenge to awaken you, or you can allow it to pull you into an even deeper sleep. The dream of ordinary unconsciousness then turns into a nightmare. If you cannot be present, even in normal circumstances, such as when you are sitting alone in a room, walking in the woods, or listening to someone, then you certainly won't be able to stay conscious when something goes wrong, or you are faced with difficult people or situations, with loss or the threat of loss. You will be taken over by a reaction, which ultimately is always some form of fear, and pulled into deep unconsciousness. Those challenges are your tests. Only the way in which you deal with them will show you and others where you are as far as your state of consciousness is concerned, not how long you sit with your eyes closed or what visions you see. So it is essential to bring more consciousness into your life in ordinary situations when everything is going relatively smoothly. In this way, you grow in presence power. It generates an energy field in you and around you of high vibrational frequency. No unconsciousness, no negativity, no discord, or violence can enter that field or survive, just as darkness cannot survive in the presence of light. When you learn to be the witness of your thoughts and emotions, which is an essential part of being present, you may be surprised when you first become aware of the background static of ordinary unconsciousness, or realize how rarely, if ever, you are truly at ease within yourself. On the level of your thinking, you will find a great deal of resistance in the form of judgment, discontent, and mental projection away from the now. On the emotional level, there will be an undercurrent of unease, tension, boredom, or nervousness. Both are aspects of the mind in its habitual resistance mode. All right, I know that was a really long passage, but I wanted to get to the meat of that at the very end, and I felt like the whole context was super important. This really resonates with me. I have been focusing on meditating a lot this year, and it's sometimes wildly successful and sometimes it's not. But it does help me to put a little bit of space between my thoughts, and I have the type of brain that just runs and runs and runs. So if you manage to stick around all the way to the end, kudos to you. I appreciate it. I'm not sponsored, but I cannot stand behind this book anymore. Go get your own copy, read along with me, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a great day.